People versus Jordan Otomoto. The people ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor, the people are prepared to proceed.
And Mr. Bickert on behalf of the defense.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm prepared to proceed. Tom Bickert, hearing on behalf of Mr. Automotive, is present to my right, Your Honor. We are prepared to proceed.
Go ahead and call your first witness.
Your Honor, first I would ask that everybody, but my officer in charge, Detective Long, and my first witness, Officer Hayes, leave the courtroom.
If the other two witnesses will have a seat out in the hallway, you go ahead and call Officer Hayes, I imagine. Is that what you're doing?
Secondly, as another preliminary matter, I would be entering the people's proposed one, which is a certified record of conviction and judgment of sentence from Washtenaw County, which states that on December 2nd of 2020, the defendant was sentenced for the crime of carrying a concealed weapon, for which he was sentenced to 69 days in jail, as well as assessed fines and costs of almost $2,000. It has not been the statutory period of time between the conviction and this offense for the defendant to have restored his rights. Therefore, he is ineligible to possess a firearm and or ammunition, and I would ask for the admission under MCL 7.
Purposes of exam, Mr. Bickert.
Yes. For purposes of exam, Your Honor,
Thank you. Go ahead.
Christopher Hayes.
Come on up, Officer Hayes. And when you get up here, can you raise your right hand? Solemnly swear from the testimony given in this matter will be the truth, so help you God. Go ahead, have a seat. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Could you please state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Christopher Hayes, Hayes.
And Officer Hayes, on March 26, 2022, what was your employment?
A police officer with Van Buren Township.
Are you still employed as a Van Buren Township police officer?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been employed as such?
25 years.
And did you in fact work on March 26, 2022?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you on foot or in a scout car?
Patrol car, yes.
Was the patrol car fully or semi-marked?
Fully marked.
What does a fully marked Van Buren Township cruiser look like?
Overhead lights, police stickers on the side.
And were you in full or modified uniform?
Full uniform.
What does a full uniform look like?
What I'm wearing now. Patrol vest, badge, pants.
Anything and everything that you would need to identify and conduct your duties as a Van Buren Township police officer?
Yes, ma'am.
Did your duties as a police officer take you to the area of Haggerty Road near Ricardo Drive?
Yes.
Is that in the township of Van Buren, County of Wayne?
Yes, ma'am.
What, if anything, brought you to that area?
Was running stationary radar.
And did something attract your attention while you were on stationary radar?
Yes,
What, if anything, was that?
a vehicle traveling at 70 miles an hour in a 45 mile an hour zone.
And what, if anything, did you do as a result of observing this?
I pulled the vehicle, effected a traffic stop with the vehicle, pulling it over.
And did the vehicle stop?
Yes,
What, if anything, happened after the vehicle stopped?
I made contact with the driver, issued him a citation, and cleared the stop.
And when doing this traffic stop, did you observe more than just the driver in the
Yes,
vehicle?
the vehicle, there was 4 people. The vehicle was occupied with 4 people.
And how do you know that the vehicle was occupied by 4 people?
But my initial approach to the vehicle was on the passenger side of the vehicle, and they rolled the window down, and I observed 4 people in the vehicle.
Do you see any of those people here in the courtroom today?
I do.
Could you please point to that person and tell me what they're wearing?
Gentleman wearing white T-shirt with a blue mask on.
Your Honor, let the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant.
It's reflected.
And where was the defendant seated within the vehicle?
Behind the driver's side, in the back seat behind the driver.
And did you have any interactions with this individual, with the defendant specifically?
At that time,
Yes.
no.
Did you have occasion to have interactions with him at a later date or time?
Is no.
What, if anything, happened after you provided the driver with a citation?
Approximately 30 minutes later, dispatch called me and told me to contact a Washtenaw County deputy, which I did. They
And without telling me what they said to you, what, if anything, did you learn from that conversation?
that
Well, Your Honor, I don't know how he can say what he learned. I mean, it's possible, but
Yeah, just tell me what you did.
I'm sorry, could you?
What, if anything, did you do as a result of your conversation with the Washtenaw officer?
I don't understand the question. What did I do?
Yeah, so you called Washtenaw.
Yes.
What did you do next?
They sent me a video. So I observed a video with me on the traffic stop.
And then what?
I recognized myself in the video and observed.
Objection, Your Honor, as to any hearsay or any evidence that hasn't had that there's been no foundation.
Yeah, either lay a foundation or ask a different question.
So, would you observe portions of this video if I showed them to you? Would you recognize it?
Yes, yes.
Approaching defense counsel. Your Honor, I need 5 minutes.
Just ask him.
Your Honor, at this time, I would be requesting permission to enter the Zoom meeting room.
Say that again?
I would be requesting permission to enter the Zoom meeting room so that I might share my screen and enter evidence.
Go ahead. I don't know if it's gonna come up as a shared screen. What's it gonna do? What do you think it's gonna do?
It
Although
should,
clearly my presets are not helping me here, so I'm having technological difficulties. I can't switch the camera. I don't know why. Are you waiting for me to do something?
I need to be admitted into the meeting room.
Oh, you went into Zoom and are doing that. Okay, I got you now.
I know.
Yeah, be a little bit more clear. Should be able to share screen from that.
Okay.
Hold
Hotel to a trap.
And you're, this, I assume this is asked to be admitted. I've already stated my objection as to the earlier questions. I'm not sure where we're at exactly.
Renew your objection.
My objection initially was that there was no foundation as to what I anticipated would be testimony about, anticipated testimony. Councilman stopped, asked officer some other questions, and then asked him if he was shown a portion of the video.
Asked if you received a video, which he
Correct.
said he did.
Correct.
And she's showing and saying, is this the video that you saw?
Okay, that's, well.
That's my understanding of
she
what's
didn't ask
going
that, but
on.
that's-
Okay,
that's
maybe
fair.
I asked her, is
I
this the
was-
video that you saw? Now she's gonna play it. Go ahead and play the video.
To a trap house, approaches everywhere like we forgot to take the trash out. Flood my cross with ice, getting money, my religion. Got
Is that the video that you were sent by Washington?
Yes.
Is it a fair and accurate representation of what you were sent and then subsequently viewed?
You have to, you have to remove it from the share screen, only because I'm live streaming this, so that's all. Thank you.
Has anything been changed or altered from when you viewed it?
No.
Your Honor, at this time, the people move for the admission of the people's proposed to.
No objection for exam purposes, Your Honor.
It's admitted for exam purposes only.
So in the video, what side of the car were you on?
I was on the driver's side.
And what, if anything, did you do after observing this video?
Started to, we put out a BOL for the vehicle
A
for officer
BOL?
safety. area broadcast for officer safety.
What next?
That's Washtenaw County, approximately, I forgot, I don't know the time frame. Can I look at my report to see the time?
Would that
frame?
refresh your recollection?
Yes,
As
ma'am.
to the next part of your involvement?
Yes, ma'am.
Please do so.
Disconnect your.
Disconnect from,
I don't, it's frozen on the screen. I don't know. Keep going. Thank you.
does that refresh your recollection?
It does.
Okay, so you put the area-wide lookout. What happens next?
At about 11 o'clock, Washtenaw County called our dispatch and advised they had that vehicle stopped.
What, if anything, did you do in response to gaining this information?
Could ask, I'm sorry, repeat the
So-
question.
Washtenaw calls again.
Mhm.
What do you
Yes.
do?
Yes,
What do you do as a result?
they told us they had the vehicle stopped. We then drove to the scene, myself and Officer Short.
And when you arrived on scene, what, if anything, did you do next?
I took one of the passengers, the actual back seat, rear passenger side, subject into custody.
And then what? What, if anything, did you observe after you took the backseat passenger into custody?
That's when transported him back to the police station at that point.
I have no further,
Mr. Becker.
wait, did you participate at any point in a search of the vehicle?
No,
Thank you. Now I know no further questions.
morning.
During the traffic stop itself, it was a speeding stop, right?
Yes, sir.
You said you issued the citation, let the individuals go about their way, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. During that stop, did you have any occasion or reason to ask anybody to step out of the
No, sir.
vehicle? Okay. And during the stop, I believe you said you had no interaction with the individual who now sits with me, my client, Mr. Odomon.
Correct.
Okay. I believe you also testified that in essence, later on, you also didn't have any interaction with him. Did you? Let me back up. I apologize. You said that you then received a video and then you received a call that indicated that Washtenaw County Sheriff's, am I right? Washtenaw County Sheriff's
Yes, sir.
had the car kind of stopped and that you and your partner
Yes, sir.
went to that location. That's
Yes.
correct. Okay. They said you then took someone into custody. And that was
Yes.
my client.
No.
Okay, it was someone else.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And did you have any interaction with my client at that time?
No, sir.
Okay. He never said anything to you or anything like that, right?
No, sir.
Okay. During the traffic stop or any other time, nobody ever made any kind of threats to you or anything like that, right?
No, sir.
Okay. In fact, we saw a video, and you indicated that, this video was brought to your attention by Washtenaw County, correct?
Yes.
And that when you viewed the video, that you recognized yourself.
Yes.
Okay. The video was very short. Was the video that we saw here today the entirety of the video that you saw?
I believe, yes.
Okay. And what was it? And I have no reason to dispute this, but what was it about the video that allowed you to recognize yourself?
I just recognized myself. I've seen the car, I remember the car stopped and I just recognized myself.
And I'm not trying to nitpick. The reason why I ask is in the video, at least, correct me if I'm wrong, I can't see your face per se. Is that fair?
Yes,
Okay, all right. So I assume when you're saying you recognized yourself, you saw an officer and you saw identifying marks
Yes, the
uniform.
side of my uniform, how I wear my belt, stuff on my belt
Okay, okay.
specifically.
And it was a stop that had just happened. It wasn't like it was 3 months ago.
Yes, Your Honor, it was approximately 30
And
minutes.
you, I imagine, had information that led you to believe that what you were gonna view was probably gonna be you too.
Yes.
I have no, yeah,
Just curious.
yes. Was there anything about the car or anything, when you saw the video that you recognized, or was it just like, hey, that's me?
I just recognized myself. to be
Okay.
honest with you.
And after you viewed the video, did you feel like, hey, I recall that stop would just
Yes,
happen a while? Okay. During that stop, you never observed a weapon, correct?
I did not.
Okay. And you never felt threatened in any way, correct?
No, I did not.
Okay, all right. I have nothing further. Thank you.
Any follow-up with Officer Hayes?
No, Your Honor.
Officer, you can step down. Call your next witness.
Officer Short.
Officer, if you can raise your right hand, solemnly swear from testimony you'll give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Come on up and have a seat. Go ahead, Ms. Bailey.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Can you please state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Jordan Short, Jordan, last Short.
And how are you currently employed?
I work for Van Buren Township Police Department,
How long have you been employed by them?
8 years.
And were you employed by them on March 26, 2022?
Yes,
Did you have occasion to respond to Devon Street and Nottingham Drive in Superior Township in Washtenaw County?
yes, I did.
Why did you go there?
I was contacted by Sergeant Stanton and Sergeant Rainey that Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department had stopped a suspect vehicle.
And who did you go there with?
Officer Hayes.
And when you arrived, what, if anything, did you observe?
I made contact with several Washtenaw County deputies on scene who had the suspects in the vehicle in custody. At that time, they were turned over to me.
And what, if anything else, did you do while on scene?
I collected pieces of evidence on scene.
From where?
Property from one of the deputies on scene.
Do you recall which deputy?
I believe it was Deputy Willems.
And what, if anything, did you observe these officers making these recoveries?
I did not. They already had the property seized.
What, if anything, did you take possession of?
I took possession of the cell phone, Jordan's cell phone on scene. That was brought back to the station when I transported him back.
Okay. What, if anything, did you do with them next?
I transported him back to the station where he was turned over to another officer to be booked.
When you say him, who do you mean by him?
Jordan Odumodu.
Do you see him in the courtroom?
I do.
Please point to him and tell me something he's wearing.
White t-shirt, blue face mask.
At any point, did you have any conversations with the defendant?
No.
No further questions.
Good morning.
Be fair to say you didn't have any interaction with my client or any of these other individuals prior to arriving at the, well, in essence, was a traffic stop at that point, correct?
Yeah, I didn't have any contact.
And I may have misspoke. It's not necessarily a traffic stop at this point. It's a stop. Is that fair?
Washtenaw County? stop?
Correct.
Correct.
You said you did not observe any seizures, correct?
No.
You were handed items from Washington County Sheriff's deputy?
Correct.
And how many total, these were all young men, correct?
What was it? I
These
didn't,
were all young men in the car?
yes,
All right, how many of them?
4, I believe.
Okay, and they were all arrested?
Yes, they were.
They were all taken to the station?
Correct.
Okay. I have nothing further, thank you.
No redirect.
You can step down, sir.
Last witness, Deputy Ward.
Come on up, Deputy. Come on up. You could raise your right hand, solemnly swear affirm testimony you'll give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God.
I do.
You're gonna come up and have a seat there.
Thank you. Could you please please state and spell your name for the record?
Deputy Brian Ward,
Spell Ward.
WARD.
How are you currently employed?
I'm employed with Washington County Sheriff's Office,
How long have you been employed by them?
8 years.
Were you working and employed by Washington County Sheriff's Office on March 26, 2022?
I was.
On that date and time, did you have occasion to stop a vehicle at or near Devon Street and Nottingham Drive in Superior Township, Washtenaw County?
I did.
Why did you stop that vehicle?
We were given information that that particular vehicle was involved in a traffic stop with Van Buren earlier that night. And we had a video of a passenger, backseat driver's side passenger pointing a firearm at the officer on that traffic stop.
And what, if anything, did you do after conducting this traffic stop?
Initially on the traffic stop, we conducted a felony stop on the vehicle due to having suspicion of a firearm being in the vehicle. There was 4 subjects in the vehicle. We detained all 4, searched the vehicle.
And what, if anything, did you recover during the search of the vehicle?
A black pistol was recovered from the vehicle.
From where in the vehicle?
Driver's side rear seat and the book pouch on the front seat.
And do you recall which of the 4 vehicle occupants was seated there?
Yes.
Do you see that person here in the courtroom?
Yes, I do.
Could you please point to them and tell me something he's
The
wearing?
gentleman in the white shirt.
And what, if anything, did you do after finding this weapon?
We immediately secured it, placed it in our vehicle, and then contacted Van Buren to let them know what we had.
So do you have any protocols as a sheriff when you recover a weapon from a vehicle?
Not necessarily protocols. I mean,
So do you check the weapon in any way?
yeah, we'll check it, we'll secure it, see if it's loaded, not unloaded, and then run it through lean to see if it comes back stolen or not.
So do you recall if this gun that you found on March 26th was loaded?
It was.
Do you know how many, what was it loaded with?
Ammunition, I mean,
Live rounds of ammunition?
yes.
Objection as to leading.
Clarifying question, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Do you recall how many rounds?
I do not recall how many.
Do you recall if one was in the chamber?
Yes.
Yes.
Does that mean yes, you recall it, or yes, there was one in the chamber?
Yes, I recall there was one in the chamber.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you mentioned that it is part of your procedure to run the weapon through lean. Did you do that?
No, I did not personally do it, no.
After finding the weapon in the back seat, did you happen to have any conversations with the defendant?
No, I did not.
Did you conduct any lien searches on the defendant?
I personally did not know.
Did you have opportunity to ask any of the occupants if they had a valid CPL?
No,
No, you did not ask, or no, they did not have one?
no, I did not ask.
What happened next?
Our dispatch notified Van Buren's dispatch. And then 2 officers from Van Buren showed up on our traffic stop.
How long did it take the Van Buren officers to arrive at the traffic stop?
I would have, if I said it would be a guess, I couldn't tell you exactly.
More than 10, 15 minutes?
I would say probably in the ballpark of 15 minutes.
Thank you. I have no further questions at this time.
Mr. Beckley.
During the search of this vehicle,
Yes, it was.
was that provided to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office?
I don't know if it was or not. It's with us. I don't know if they've requested it or not.
Yeah, this is literally, well, I'll deal with it another time. So do you believe that your body cam was operable?
I'm sorry.
Do you believe that it was operable? It was operating
It
correctly?
was.
Okay. Have you observed?
Yes, I have.
Have you observed the video?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. You were asked, I apologize. You were asked if you attempted to speak to my client. Did you do so?
I did not know.
When just one. After your search of the vehicle, all 4 occupants were arrested and taken into custody, correct?
Yes.
Nothing further on the thing.
Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
You can step down, officer, thank you. Any other witnesses?
No.
Motion?
Your Honor, at this time, the people move for bind over on counts 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, I'm sorry, not 5, 6, 7,
8.
6 and 7.
Not 8.
Not, so the people will not be moving for a bind over on counts 3, 5, 8, and 9, Your Honor. I don't believe
I
that the
understand.
testimony here today.
Argument?
Very briefly. Just trying, my argument is simple, and it's just that at the end of the day, what we have is a vehicle occupied by multiple individuals. There's then a video that brings officers' attention that they want to, go back and stop that car and understand why. And then they stop that car, there's 4 individuals inside, a weapon is located, there was testimony as to the area, occupants, etc. I would just indicate that after the weapon is found, all 4 of the individuals that are in the vehicle are all arrested, all taken into custody. I've only heard testimony as to 1 weapon. So I would assume that there was not sufficient nexus between the weapon and any one individual to allow a determination as to who they felt was in possession of the weapon. That's why all 4 individuals were taken into custody. At this point now, and there's been no testimony as any statements, any kind of anything that changed that situation to where there would be an additional finding of probable cause against my client as to being in possession of the weapon that was found inside of the vehicle. So with that, Your Honor, I would ask that the case be dismissed as to those charges that were.
Response.
So, Your Honor, with all due respect to Mr. Bickert, the gun was found right in front of where his client was sitting. We have a video that shows his client holding a gun.
Wait, first of all, Your Honor, we don't have a video that shows my client doing anything. We saw a video.
I can
think
play
that-
the video
I'm
again.
gonna stop you. I think it's an issue of fact on
There you
whether it was your client or
There we
not. I'm gonna bind the defendant over on the counts that the prosecution, dismissing those counts that the prosecution isn't proceeding on. Agreement on the information will take place 1 week from today on May the 25th at 9 a.m. I'll continue to bond.
May I trust my client's bond?
You can, but I've already done pretrial services and they're satisfied with the bond, so you're gonna have to circle back with them. I'm not changing it.
I would ask the court to consider the fact that there were assaultive charges that were dismissed at this point. Or at least I'm certainly, that were not even,
The testimony highly concerns me, Mr. Bickert, and they've already done a pretrial services. It's 1 week. You can make that argument downtown.
understood, Your Honor, thank you.
People versus Stacy Leos.
Okay. Your Honor,
Yes.
know the intentions, you probably would have just waited.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I didn't know either, so.
Well, I mean, and maybe it was a midstream decision.
I live on Stephen Hills.
People versus Stacy Leos on behalf of
that's not-
people.
yeah, I think Robbie's the next case. And go, I see, I think he has it together, but just in case he doesn't. and Jane Gillis on behalf of people.
Ms. Richards,
Good afternoon, Your Honor, Neighborhood Defender Services, Detroit, by Nancy Richards, 268-850, standing to my right.
yeah, you may have to, you're coming off as very hard to understand, so.
Sure.
How many witnesses?
One witness and my officer in charge, I'd like him to stay. He's not going to be testifying, officer. or
Go ahead and
Sergeant.
call your first witness.
At this time, the people would call him through.
Judge, for the record, needs to sequester.
Hannah Rose.
Big question, there isn't anybody else in the courtroom. Come on up, Ms. Rose. And you're gonna come all the way up here. Raise your right hand, solemnly swear affirm testimony you'll give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God. Go ahead and come up and have a seat. Please set this if you- Yeah, I figured it out. Go ahead, Ms. Gillis.
Okay, Ms. Rose. I'd like to draw your attention back to the date of 3/26 and 3/27, okay? Were you residing at 35531 Stephanie Drive, apartment 107 in Romulus?
Yes,
Who else did you live there with?
my mother.
Do you see your mother in court today?
Yes,
What color shirt is she wearing?
red, white, and blue.
The record reflect that she's identified her mother.
It's reflected.
Okay, so I'd like to draw your attention back to that date let's first start with the 26th. Did you and your mother get into an argument?
Yes.
Okay, and what was the argument about?
I wanted my car keys.
You
I
gotta
wanted
speak
my
a lot
car.
louder.
I'm sorry. I wanted my car keys so I could go to the store that was around the corner, and she refused to give me my keys.
Okay, and what happened after that?
She proceeded to put her hands on me while she was under the influence, and I told her not to, and I kept,
Put your hand down.
I'm sorry. I tried to tell her not to put her hands on me, and she kept going and kept going. And I tried to leave because I had a spare key to my car, and she took that as well.
Okay, and then what happened?
She pushed me in a closet and then tried to like beat on me like while I was cornered in the closet and I couldn't get up or anything. So I grabbed her arms and I told her, I'm not trying to fight you. I don't want to fight. I just want to leave and I'll be out of your way.
Okay,
And she didn't want to give me my keys.
okay, and then
she
what
still-
happened?
She got out of my restraint and then went to the kitchen, grabbed a knife and tried to stab me. So I grabbed her arms and tried to keep her off of me as much as I could. And then I got away from her eventually and ran away and she started to follow me. Then she went to her room with
Okay,
my keys and my phone.
okay, and then did you go to your room?
No, I went to the living room.
You went to the living room?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the next morning, did something else occur?
She told me that she would give me my keys in the morning, but when I went to her room and asked her to give me the keys, she started another argument and told me that
She started,
yeah, she wanted to argue instead of giving me my keys.
Okay, and then what happened?
I stood there and I kept asking her to give me my keys and then she grabbed me, threw me on the bed and then put her like arm on my neck and
On
put
your neck, like right here?
Yeah,
Okay,
like,
from
she
record
put-
reflect, she's using her right arm to bring it up to her neck,
that's what I thought
perpendicular.
that-
Okay, and then go on.
she put all her weight on my neck and told me that she would kill me. And I got out of that restraint and then she pulled a knife on me. I threw the knife behind the bed so she wouldn't be able to get to it. And then I found the spare phone and called the police. I locked myself in the bathroom.
Okay, I'm gonna show you, Michelle's gonna tell me, these are people's proposed exhibit.
Sure. Have you shown him to Miss Richard?
Yeah, she saw them.
Just making sure.
Pictures of people's proposed exhibit 1 and 2.
Hmm.
And can you tell me what this is on that picture?
That's the first knife she pulled on me.
And it accurately depicts the knife,
Yeah,
and that's you standing above the knife,
yeah.
okay? And then people's proposed exhibit 1, can you tell me what that is?
That's the second knife she pulled on me the next morning.
Miss Richards?
Good afternoon. Is it Miss Rose or Miss Kilgore?
Miss Kilgore.
Miss Kilgore. Okay. So you indicated that this started on one day and then concluded on the following day.
Yes,
Okay, and that was March 26th and March 27th?
yes.
And what time on March 26th do you say that this started?
Around 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
Okay, so 10 or 11 p.m.?
Yes,
And you indicated that at that time, your mother had, you and your mother had gotten into an argument and you said that was over your car keys?
yes,
Okay. Were you ever arguing over your birth certificate?
yes, that as well, but it was over the car keys.
Okay, so you were arguing about the birth certificate and the car keys?
Yes,
Okay. And you indicated that there was some fight that happened and it ultimately led to a knife being pulled out, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. And do you know what happened to that knife from the 26th?
I took it from her while she wasn't looking.
Okay,
She put it down, then I grabbed it and brought it in the living room with me. And then
Okay.
she had another knife in her room, like
Okay.
hidden away.
You're speaking real
I'm
soft,
s-
so
I'm
if you
sorry.
can speak up a little, that would be great. So you took the knife,
Mhm.
is that a yes?
Yes,
Okay, and you
Oh,
took it,
Yeah, see how you just answered that?
Yes.
You could speak that loud, that would be good.
I'm sorry.
it's okay. So you took the knife and you took it into the living room with you.
Yes.
All right. Did you spend the night in the living room? Did you ever go into your bedroom and sleep?
I spent the night in the living room because she wouldn't let me leave. Like, she basically,
Okay, so she was asleep in her bedroom, correct?
yes,
Okay, and you were in the living room. Did you fall asleep?
yes.
Okay,
Like around 6 o'clock in the morning.
I'm sorry.
Around 6 o'clock in the morning, yes.
Okay, so around 6 a.m. you fell asleep.
Yes.
All right. Do you have a bedroom or do you sleep in the living room?
I slept in the living room.
Okay, so living room was your bedroom,
Yeah.
basically, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you spent the night in the living room, fell asleep around 6 a.m.
Yes.
What time did you wake up?
I woke up around 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. And so at 10 or so, you wake up, and then at around 12:20 though is when this happens again, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so another couple, 2.5 hours later.
Yes.
Okay. And at that time, you said that there was another struggle, another situation where she had a knife, and you're saying that's a different knife that she had?
Yes.
Okay. Was the first knife still in the living room with you?
Yes.
Okay. So the second knife, and these are all kitchen knives, right?
Yes.
Okay. So she gets another knife from the kitchen,
Yes.
and you're able to take that away from her as well, correct?
Yes.
And you indicated you threw it behind the bed,
Yes.
so she couldn't get to it.
Yes.
Did you ever see her with it again?
No.
Okay. So is the last place you saw it behind that bed?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have a knife with you at all?
No. Only the knife that I took the night before.
Only the knife that you had in the living room.
Yes.
On the 27th, did you have a knife with you at any time?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to show you again what the prosecutor indicated as People's Exhibit 1. Is that the knife? And that's the knife right there, correct?
Yes.
Is that the knife that you threw behind the bed?
Yes, that's the knife I threw.
Okay. And where is that knife right now in this picture?
I think they took it. Oh, where is it?
Yeah.
It's behind the headboard.
Behind the headboard?
Yes.
Okay, so is this, can you tell me where the headboard is?
This is the headboard and that's the mattress.
Okay, and what's this? Is it just behind the bed or?
Yes, that's behind the bed.
All right. Did you get cut by the knife at all?
No.
Okay. So you indicated that after this altercation with your mother, you went into the bathroom
Yes.
and you called the police.
Yes.
So you had your cell phone at that time.
I didn't have my phone. I found the spare phone around the house.
Okay, a spare phone.
Yeah.
Was it your mother's phone?
Yes, it was one of her old phones.
Okay, but it was still on and working?
No, I could call 911.
Okay, but it was charged?
Yeah.
Okay. So you called the police. When did you find that phone?
I found it the night before.
Okay, So you found it the night before, but you called the next day.
Yes, because she told me that she would give me my keys in the morning, so.
Okay. And this location is your mother's home, correct?
Yes,
And she's on a lease there.
yes,
You're not on that lease, correct?
no,
But you had been staying there.
yes,
You're currently staying there, correct?
yes,
And you're not paying rent, correct?
no,
And you're living there right now while Miss Laus is not allowed to live there.
yes,
And the clothing that you're wearing right now is your mother's clothing, correct?
yes.
I'm sorry, what was
I would
that?
object
Oh,
to the
just-
relevancy of
Wait, I didn't hear the question.
I said the clothing that she's wearing right now is her mother's clothing.
Oh, okay.
I object to saying, what's the
I'm
relevance?
gonna let her ask it over.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I think she said yes.
She did, yes. Miss Kilgore, in the last 10 years, have you been convicted of any crimes of theft or dishonesty?
No,
When the police arrived, you're the person who answered the door, correct?
yes,
I have nothing further at this time.
Any other questions, Ms.
Just
Gillis?
one question. Were you injured at all?
yes.
How were you injured?
I had bruises on my back and scratches on my back and my neck at the time.
Okay. I have another question.
Anything else, Ms. Richards?
No, Your Honor.
You can step down, ma'am. Any other witnesses, Ms. Gillis?
No, can I publish these to the board?
Motion.
I moved to bind over on the charges.
You can
contained in
step
the
down.
information complaint.
Your Honor, the defense does object to the bind over in particular as to count one. I don't believe there was any testimony regarding the complainant not having an ability to breathe or her airway being cut off at all. I would object to the bind over as to that count. I don't believe there's also been a showing of great bodily harm or intent to cause great bodily harm. So I would object to the bind over as to count one in particular.
Response.
And it says strangulation or suffocation. She said she put her arm right up into her neck and put her weight into it. I mean,
It's an issue fact for a jury. I'm gonna bind her over on the arraignment on the information will take place 2 weeks from today on June the 1st at 9 a.m. And I'll continue the bond.
can I take this? I know, I said I'm gonna take this, so I have the CTN and download it. I gotta create a Duke file.
Do you want these photos back or on the same file?
Okay, I'll be right back in. I'm ready to go on that blue page.
How many witnesses on that?
Ooh, a lot.
A lot doesn't mean anything to me. Your opinion of a lot and my opinion of a lot are two different things, Ms. Gillis.
So if you want to say that you have
6.
Okay, go bring them in. Get
And
Mr.
some
Bello
movies.
and Ms. Diallo. Let's go.
And some pictures of movies here. So this is.
You need any connections, they're right there. And then she can show you the rest. Anything else, let us know.
I'd like left the state.
Just hold that button down.
I'm trying to show the trick.
Well, like I said. We're ready, Your Honor. He needs an attorney.
Where's Miss Diallo?
I don't.
I talked to her, she's here.
Yeah, I talked to her too. She was here.
She's here.
Oh, yeah, I talked to her this morning.
grab
She
her.
talked, she went in back and talked to her client. And we're ready to go.
Okay. Ever figure out those tickets?
Yeah, they're sitting on my desk.
Did they ever, did you ever try to call those people?
I got a hold of that.
Yeah.
Can I approach you, Michelle? I'm gonna have you mark these.
All the videos from this guy here. Okay. Right, got the videos, this is.
I know. I've always kind of tapered it, so. Oh, no, it like goes in. They are.
They're back in.
Like, I go through a high school, like my yearbook, 99% of the women had the same hairdo. It's so funny.
Oh, it's the same when I went to. Years ago next week.
Over 40 years. My husband was like, he's anxious. I think my husband is solid and he's putting it. You know, I live near my house. Where, you know that, right? There's one house in between. We have some judgment farms.
Judges in the gross points are like a judge in one gross point.
Oh, yeah, and that doesn't happen anymore because that judge got elected to farms. Now he's the judge in farms and shores, but he used to be like the prosecutor at one court, and defense attorney.
Yeah, that's Gary was telling me about that.
That doesn't, anymore. He's not the prosecutor in the woods anymore. Yeah.
We went out on Good Friday. It was me, Gary. Yeah, to Atwater.
I debated about going, but then I just like laid over on the couch. I live right near there.
It was fun. I went out and just had basically dinner and a drink. And then I went out.
Yeah, you can only have one drink because you gotta drive. I could have got on the bus and gone home.
I don't know how. You go get lunch? I'd go get lunch in the office.
This doesn't really help me. He didn't say he saw it.
People versus Sergio Bello.
Jane Gillis on behalf of the people.
William Gallo, P520361. We have Sergio Blue, who is present to my right. We are ready to proceed. We would ask the court to order sequestration in this particular matter.
Your Honor, I ask for sequestration, except that I'd like to allow my officer in charge to stay in the courtroom. He will be testifying at some time.
I don't care. That's fine. Officer Shakigas, you can have a seat.
I just object, Judge, because he will be a witness.
He's the officer in charge. He's allowed to stay.
Discretion of court.
Go ahead, go ahead
Okay,
and call
this
your
time we're
first
gonna
witness.
call Ms. Mark.
Okay.
Come on up, ma'am. All the way up here. And then when you get up here, yeah, just right. Can you raise your right hand? Solemnly swear from testimony you'll give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God. You're gonna come up this ramp and have a seat right there. Go ahead, Ms. Gallows.
Okay, Ms. Romano, can you tell me on the date of,
Can I get her name, please, first?
oh, I'm sorry, I thought she gave it to you. Can you state your name for the record?
Barbara Romano.
Thank you.
Okay, and Ms. Romano, I want to ask you on the date of April 16th, 2021, where were you working?
Chase Bank in Belleville.
Okay, you got to speak up a little bit louder.
Chase Bank in Belleville.
Okay, and when you were working at Chase Bank at Belleville, did something unusual happen?
Yes, that day we had a robbery.
Okay, and you were there when that robbery occurred?
Yes.
Okay, and how did you know you had a robbery?
The teller that was robbed had,
Sharon, I'm sorry, I'm gonna object as to hearsay and foundationally, you went to a conclusion and thought you could probably pick it up. So I'm objecting to this line of questioning because it's conclusory. It's up to
She
the
asked
court.
her how she knew she got robbed, but I'll hold your comments. Don't tell me anything that the teller that allegedly got robbed said, just whatever you actually observed.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, Your Honor, it also can be an excited utterance depending on how.
It depends, then lay the foundation for it.
I haven't even got.
Let's
Okay.
move forward into it of what happened and then we'll go.
So, you said you heard somebody say something, is that correct?
yes,
And what was that person's name?
they said lock the doors. I
Okay,
just,
wait, stop, slow it. What was that person's name?
Anna,
Anna, and what was Anna's position?
she was a teller.
Okay, and you said she said something, correct? Don't tell me what she said, right?
Yes,
Okay, and, when you said she spoke, did she speak like I'm speaking? Did she speak softly? Did she yell, scream? Tell me what kind of voice she used.
she yelled,
She yelled. What did she yell?
lock the doors. I just got robbed.
Okay. So, when that happens, is there a protocol that the bank takes?
Yes,
Okay, and you've been with the bank how long?
15 years.
So you know that protocol.
Yes,
Specific procedures have to be done, correct?
yes,
Okay, so is one of those procedures, you have someone go lock the door?
yes,
Okay, does someone call 911?
yes,
You put a sign on the outside of the door,
yes.
okay? And
Well,
what's
that
that,
would be leading, Judge, but that's okay. I'll let her do it right now.
Go
okay,
ahead, Ms.
Thank you.
what's
Gillis.
the sign say?
So I believe it says the, well, it says the branch is,
Speculation, what do you mean, what's the sign say? Why are you asking what the sign says? Objection, Judge. First of all, she says she believes, so.
I understand it. Do you know exactly what the sign says?
the branch is temporarily closed. You can use another branch, neighboring branch, and it has a couple addresses to some of our neighboring branches.
Okay,
Okay.
go ahead, Ms. Gillis.
Did you see a person? Did you see the person? Did you see a person? Did she point a person out to you or anything like that?
No,
No. Okay. I have no other questions.
Ms. Diallo, do you have any questions of this witness?
Not one question, Judge.
Sit back down.
I appreciate you.
You're all set then. Thank you. Is she free to leave? Ms. Gillis,
She
she's
can
free to
leave.
leave. You're free to leave, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Next witness, Ms. Gillis.
Christopher Gale, the OIC just, oh, I thought you went to get him. He had them all come down to outside your thing, you know.
What's the next, who's the next witness?
The next witness is Christopher Gale. He was a customer at the bank.
I don't care who it is, I just want a name.
Christopher Gale, Gale.
Mr. Gale, can you come on all the way up here? And when you get up here, if you could raise your right hand. Solemnly swear affirm the testimony you'll give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God. You can have a seat, and whatever your comfort level is, you can leave the mask on or take it off.
This slide.
Perfect. Yep, it's hot. Go ahead, Ms. Gillis. Mr. Gale, is it Gale?
Yes.
Go ahead, Ms. Gillis.
Mr. Gale, I'd like to draw your attention back to the afternoon of April 16th, 2001 at 465 Main Street in Chase Bank in the city of Belleville. Were you at the bank that day?
I was.
Okay. And did something unusual happen while you were at the bank?
The bank was robbed while I was there.
Okay, let me back you up a minute. You were at the bank. What were you doing at the bank?
I was at the bank to take care of my mother's affairs. She had passed away the month before.
Okay, and did you say something unusual when you were up at the bank or talking with the teller or sometime? I'm not sure when you told me, but.
I arrived at the bank, was greeted, was asked to wait over near the cubicle space where I had a view of the teller windows. During that time, there was a man talking to one of the tellers. And I did notice it because the conversation started to not make sense. There was.
You could hear the conversation?
I could hear the conversation, yes.
Okay, and so what did you hear?
I heard, what I believe I heard, it's been a long time, was.
How are you, Mr. Gale? I would object this to hearsay. You tell us about the conversation.
Statement by a party opponent. It's the.
What? You don't know that?
Okay. And
You're gonna ask a number.
Okay, you heard, you were listening to the conversation because you said it didn't make sense to you. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then. And did you do something when you were hearing all this?
I was listening to the conversation at that point in time.
Okay, and then what did you do next after that?
Once the teller started to yell to lock the doors, and it was obvious to me that the bank had been robbed, I started to take some notes on my hand. I didn't have anything else to write on because I expected to be interviewed and I didn't want to forget any details of what I had seen.
Okay, and do you remember what you wrote on your hand?
I wrote down the general description of what I remembered seeing of the gentleman that was having the conversation that I had been listening to.
Okay, and did you see where that gentleman went?
He fled the building. I did not see where he went after so he went out the main door and turned to the right. And when he was past the windows, I didn't know where he went then. I lost him there.
Okay, I'm gonna approach the witness, show you People's Exhibit number 1, 2, and 3.
I should propose. I know, I got to find the video. I got to try to keep my bar number alive. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna show you, you said there was a guy that you were writing notes about and that you were listening to the conversation. It was unusual and everything like that.
Correct.
Does that picture accurately depict the guy that you saw?
Yes, it does.
Okay, I'm gonna show you another picture. Does this picture, People's Exhibit 2, does that accurately depict the guy you saw in the bank?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And you said he ran right as he went out the doors?
Yes, he turned to the right.
Is there an ATM machine to the right?
There is.
Okay, is this the front of the bank?
Yes.
could you just tell me what exhibit number?
Oh, 3, I'm sorry, I apologize. And is this what looks like if you turn right as you go out the bank?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Did you see when you were watching any note?
I did not.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Danny, what did you just say? Any more?
And no, he said no.
You said no?
No. And
Write it down, maybe I'm not understanding. Oh, no. Let's see. Okay, that's fine. No.
Approach the witness again. This is a statement.
Okay. What was it? Sure. Hold on 1 second. Because I have it right here. Okay, hold on. I want to make sure. Well, okay, so this is what I have. I have Carrie. Lachey. Somebody. Stewart. I don't know who that is.
look at this.
Okay. Oh, suspect description. Oh, boy. Okay, okay, that's right. It should have been done by now. I don't see it. But okay, I'll fuss about it later. Just
Okay.
finish trying to do something.
Mr. Gill, I'm going to approach you, piece of paper. This is is this a statement that you made on that date?
Yes, it is.
And can you look at that statement and turn it over and tell me, did you say that?
Wait, hold on, Jane. Let me. Hold on. Yeah, I know. But let's see if you just can't go and ask them questions. Okay, hold on, unless you're impeaching me. Okay, just 1 second. I don't have it. I do not have, maybe I do. Okay. I have 81 days. Right there. No, this it? It's gotta be it. Okay. Okay, wait, so I got Goki, Christopher, here. Yeah, that was him. Okay, I know, hold on. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Might give you the statement back. On that date, did you remember seeing a note being handed?
No, I did not see a note being handed.
Okay.
Okay. And he didn't write the statement, it's okay. I know what happened.
The guy that you saw and just identified a picture, can you tell me, do you remember like height or weight or anything like that? An origin, ethnicity, anything like that?
Sure, I would have said he was between 5'8" and 5'10", probably 180, 170 weight. Had a darker complexion, didn't appear to be Caucasian, but the face was covered here, so I didn't have a great look. Didn't appear to be Caucasian though.
Just identified it. You said earlier, you remember the teller yelling?
Yes.
Okay. From the time the teller yelled until the time that you saw this man walking out, do you know how long that was?
The yelling came after the running.
Okay.
So the yelling was after. Yeah.
I have no further questions at this time.
Thank you, and good afternoon to you, Mr. Gale.
Good afternoon.
All right, and I'm sorry for your loss on your mouth. Okay, I'm just gonna ask you a couple of questions.
Sure thing.
So it's fair to say that you got the best information you could, correct? And wrote it on your hand?
Yes.
Okay, that's fair. And did you write a statement out or anything in this case?
I filled out a form that the bank provided me, and I had an interview with the officer on the scene.
Oh, okay. So you filled out a bank form, and did you ever fill out anything with the police, like write a statement out for them? If you remember.
I do not recall writing a statement. I remember giving a verbal statement.
Okay, and do you remember what officer it was?
I do not.
Okay, all right, I don't have any other questions for you, Mr. Gill, and good afternoon to you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Gill, you can step down and you're free to leave. Call your next witness. Or you are free to leave. Thank you. Go ahead, call your next witness, Ms. Gillis.
I'm sorry.
Call your next witness.
Canine.
Come on up, officer. Can you raise your right hand? Solemnly swear from the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Have a seat. State your name and spell it.
Officer Brian Sostak, Szostak, Canton Township Police Department.
Brian with an I.
Brian with a Y, I'm sorry.
Thank you. That's okay.
Okay. Officer Sosek, did you get a call on 4/16/2021 to assist in a bank robbery in Belleville?
I did.
Okay, and are you a canine officer?
I am.
Okay, are you certified and is your dog certified?
We are.
Lynn wants to hear
About what?
His certification, the dog certification with Diallo.
Well, Judge, since I'm not gonna put the dog up there and cross-examine the dog.
No, but
just
he's
for
gonna
purposes-
testify to what
right.
the dog did.
Yeah,
Do you have any questions about the dog certification?
just for
Or his?
purposes of exam only. So when
I
we get
did.
down, if we get downtown, I don't have to fight. Just for these purposes, I will not.
I have had a dog recently that's certified.
So, got right up on this.
Okay, so did you bring your canine with you?
I did.
Okay, and were you called by Van Buren actually, correct?
I don't know who called me. Dispatch told me to go and I did.
Okay, and dispatch asked you to go, and when you got there, where did you go?
I went into the bank. I met with, I don't know who the officer was. I was given the information of, hey, last seen, bad guy, last seen running this way.
Okay, they explained the nature of the crime?
They did.
Okay, so did you take your dog and go in the direction they told you
I did.
from the front door of the bank?
Correct.
And where did you end your, I guess, chase or walk with your dog?
By the library.
And do you remember where you went in between the front door of the bank and the library?
We went, so we started east across the front of the bank. I don't know what this name of the street is. It was the very first street next to the bank. We turned right, which would be south. We went down the length of one building and went through like I wouldn't even call it an alley, almost just a small walkway between two buildings. We went through that, came out into a parking lot and kind of curved in a southeast direction along the front of the library, I think is the building. And then we kind of ended at a parking spot at the south end of the parking lot. I think it was the farthest west parking spot on the south end of the parking lot.
Okay, and was this a parking lot for a library in Belleville?
I believe it's like a general parking lot for the city, but I'm not sure, but it's right next to the library, so.
Okay, okay, and your dog followed a scent of a human?
My dog follows human scent, that's correct.
Okay. Do anything after you were at the library?
Typically, after I don't remember exactly if I did anything other than my normal procedure, which is I always walk back the same way my dog went, and we do what's called an evidence search just to make sure that whoever we're chasing may have thrown off a shirt or a piece of equipment or whatever, just to make sure we didn't miss anything.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Yeah, just briefly. This is fascinating to me. So the canine, there are no two scents that are alike. Is that true?
There's no, I can't tell you what the dog is smelling, but I would say that's pretty accurate, that there's no two scents that are the same.
Oh, okay. I have another question. Thank you.
Thanks, officer. You're all set.
Thank you.
Next witness, Ms. Gillis. And you're free to leave. You're welcome.
Canton Township?
Okay, y'all have a canine.
Yeah. We have,
Does it do contraband too and bombs? and
What's
stuff?
that?
Does it do contraband and bombs?
We don't do explosives, no.
Oh, good.
Narcotics detection, yes, but not.
I don't have nothing.
You heard it.
You're all set.
Come on up, ma'am. And when you get up here, if you could raise your right hand. Solemnly swear from the testimony you'll give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God. Have a seat and give me your name.
Stephanie Skinzel.
What is it?
Stephanie Skinzel.
Can you spell your last name?
Skindziel.
Okay.
Skindziel. First name Stephanie with a PH.
Stefani. Parents are difficult.
Batting 0 for 2 now. Brian with an I or a Y. Go ahead, Miss Gillis.
Okay. Miss Skinzel. Miss Skinzel, I'd like to draw your attention back to the date of April 16th, 2001. In the afternoon, were you at your home in Belleville on that date?
Yes, I was.
I said 01, my officer's correcting me, 2021, not 01. Okay. Were you at your home in Belleville on that date?
Yes.
Okay, and is your home near the Belleville Library?
Yes. My home is directly across from the new parking lot.
Okay, and did you see something unusual on that date?
I did. I was working at home. I had a desk right in front of our front window. I saw a white car pull up kind of in the street, hang around. I thought that was kind of strange. So I kept watching.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Let me see. Is the car in the parking lot?
Not yet.
Okay.
They stopped just shy of the parking lot, and then they turned into the parking lot, backed into a spot. And then Somebody got out and started walking, and then there was nothing abnormal after that, so I continued to work.
Okay, and then did something happen later on?
Yes. I can't remember how much longer later, but I saw that same person that got out of the car running back into the car and jumped into the back seat, and then they sped off.
Okay, and okay, do you recall what type of vehicle this was and what color?
It was a white Lexus, an older model. I remembered because of the taillights. It's always stuck out to me. And I couldn't quite remember, so I had to Google to see what kind of car it was. And as soon as I saw it, I knew that was it.
Okay,
And so
and you identified as the car that you definitely saw?
yes,
Okay, and it was a white Lexus?
yes.
Okay. Okay, and that person that dove into the back seat of the Lexus, do you remember what he was wearing?
Black and blue plaid pajama pants, and then black shoes with a white sole and a hoodie.
Okay, and did he have a face covering on?
He had one of those masks that can cover your neck or your whole face, and it was red and white striped.
Okay.
Let me see. Well, it's just, that's 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay, where's 3? Okay, that's fine. I'll get 3 later. Okay, that's no worries.
Okay, I'm gonna approach it with People's Exhibit 1. And I just want you to tell me, it doesn't matter where Adam's at, is that accurately depict the person you saw jump into the back seat, the clothing?
Yes,
I'm not saying the exact, okay, the clothing does exactly fit the person you saw jump in the back of the Lexus.
yes,
Okay, and here's another one a little closer up, and again,
yes.
okay. So when you saw all that, and that unusual, what did you do?
I made sure to keep an eye on it in case anything weird did happen. And then a few minutes after I saw them jump in the car, I saw the police show up. So
Okay, let me just ask Ms. Hamilton.
Yes. Well, just for purposes of exam, you know, we could waste more time than we are. So. How many more witnesses do you feel?
2 after this and another. Just 2 more.
Okay. I got federal court, they don't play with us.
Yeah.
Does she have a statement?
Make a statement.
Officer Todd came and asked me if I saw anything, but I physically did not write anything.
This is the best.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play a video and I want you to ask me, this actually depicts what you saw on that day, although I think you were probably closer. Can you see the video up there?
Yes.
If you have no objections, Ms. Diallo, I'm gonna go up to 15:30, so we don't have to sit here for a very long time. Now, if you can watch on it, I just zoomed it up to the spot. I don't want to listen to 30 minutes of the library. So, which car is the one you saw?
It's that one pulling in right now, I believe, if they park over there,
Like way in the distance or right up front?
way in the distance.
Way in the distance, okay?
If they back into the spot, that's it. Yep,
Is that in the beginning or in the
the
end?
beginning.
The beginning.
Mhm.
I'll zoom up here. 15:41. So you're saying it's in the background over there?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
And this,
To the left.
is it to the left of the screen or the right where their car is?
To the right of the flagpole.
To the right?
It's
Oh,
very,
oh, that
it's hard to
way.
see. It's in the back.
I see, I got you. Okay. Look at the screen, right at the flag, oh, I got you.
Did you pick what you saw?
Yes,
But you were from a different angle, correct?
correct.
I have no further questions.
Ms. Diallo? Not one question. Good morning, good afternoon to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
You're all set. then. Thank you. You're free to leave. Call your next witness.
This time we're gonna call Corporal Sergeant Schreckengas. You know the number? Get up on the stand.
Who's getting on the stick? Oh, he's getting on the stick.
Yeah.
Come on up, Sergeant.
Okay. Your turn. Oh, yeah. Somebody else.
Can you raise your right hand? Solemnly swear from testimony you'll give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God. Have a seat. Go ahead, Ms. Gillis.
Okay, can you state your name for the record?
Name is Todd Schreckengast. I'm a sergeant with the Belleville Police Department.
Okay, Sergeant Schreckengast. Were you working for the Belleville Police Department on 4/16/2021?
Yes,
Okay, and did you get a call to the bank, Chase
Yes.
Bank?
yes.
What was the nature of the call?
It was a reported robbery.
Okay, and so when you got there, what was the first thing you did?
I arrived on scene. I actually checked the immediate area, circling the bank, and then pulled into the front parking lot and approached the front door of the bank.
Okay, and what did you see on the front door of the bank?
A sign was posted that said that the branch was temporarily closed and the door was locked.
Okay, when you received this call regarding an armed robbery, did you receive a description?
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. I object. I think she, assuming that's not an evidence, not an armed robbery?
Bank robbery, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Bank robbery. It was not armed. I will correct that. I was wrong. When you got this call for a bank robbery to this Chase Bank, without telling me, will you please, did you get a description of clothing?
Yes.
Okay. So then what did you do after that?
Responded to a dispatch call. I was dispatched there.
Okay.
I arrived at the bank, like I said, it was locked. A manager or employee came to the door and unlocked the door and let me inside.
Okay. And did you start taking interviews of people?
Yes.
Okay. And then what did you do after you took interviews of people?
Had them complete statements,
Okay.
the ones that were present in the bank.
And what did you do after that?
I requested during that time, just prior to that, I requested additional units to respond. Van Buren Township responded with 2 units, and I also requested a K-9 officer, which was from Canton Township.
Okay, and his duties as the officer in charge, did you eventually get video from the library and the bank and all that kind of stuff and upload it for us on evidence?
Yes, I obtained video from 265 Main Street, 365 Main Street, I believe, and from the bank itself,
Okay.
and from the library as well.
Okay, and then did you take screenshots of the videos that you received from the bank video?
I did.
Okay, and I'm just going to show you these people's exhibit 1 and 2. Are these the two of the screenshots that you gave, that you did?
Yes, among several.
Okay. Did you get video from the library?
Yes,
Okay.
from the head librarian.
Okay, well, she's zooming that up. Let me ask you this. After you collected, well, I'm assuming you collected videos within the next couple of days.
Yes.
Okay, and after you did that, and you had descriptions and things like that, did you do some sort of, I don't even know what they call it, maybe a BOLO or something like that, where it goes out to all the police departments that you're looking for something?
Yes, we're a member of the Michigan Departmental Intelligence Group that shares information about crimes that occur in their jurisdiction and share it with other agencies.
Okay, and you did that. Did you eventually get a call from another department?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and what department was that?
Redford Township.
Okay, and did you go over eventually to? Yeah. Okay, we got the library. I'm gonna back up. We got the library video here. Yeah.
Would you like me to identify that video?
Okay. Is this the video you downloaded from the library, one of them?
Yes,
Okay.
it's actually facing south. 41. 41.
There. Person running across the street, is that headed, if, I don't know this area, so is
That would be southwest, more west than south.
Would that be headed towards the Lexus car?
Yes.
Viewed on the other view, okay. And,
The video that was viewed earlier, I also obtained that one as well.
okay, and then did you also obtain some videos of in between the library and the bank?
Yes,
And could you almost see a path?
yes.
Okay, we'll play those. While she's getting those up, I'm gonna ask you, so you went over to Redford Police Department, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, and did they have a Lexus car that they had taken into evidence on a case of theirs?
Detective Kubrick from Redford Township told me, yes, they did.
Okay,
He actually called me on the phone and his sergeant as well.
okay, and then what did you do when you got there?
Spoke to Detective Kubrick and he shared his information with me.
Okay, and did you try and go talk to?
Well, Judge, can I object in proper
Did you just ask me if you could have?
Yes, I did.
Is that like a question on whether?
What, yeah, if I can. I'm sorry. I don't know, Judge. You know, I'm getting older and hard here.
You can object.
Oh,
I've
okay.
seen you do it before.
Yeah, no, okay. So Judge, I'm objecting. This is improper 404B information. We are not here about Redford. We are here about the Belleville
You can
alleged
stop
robbery.
response.
Okay, so
Yeah,
anything about
you're not gonna, are you gonna respond to her objection or are you gonna change the question?
I'm gonna change the question around.
Okay, then
I'll sit down.
objection
Yes, ma'am.
sustained. Change the question.
Thank you. I'm sitting there.
It's okay. I'm not gonna talk about the Redford case. I wanna know, when you went to the Redford case, when you went to the Redford Police Department, did they let you interview someone?
Yes, and conduct a search warrant on the vehicle.
Okay, do you see the person you interviewed in the courtroom today?
I didn't interview him. He refused to talk to me.
Okay, but did you see him there at the Redford Police Department?
Yes.
What's he have on today?
Um,
So what's the relevance to what happened at the Redford Police Department in response to this particular matter?
Just for identification purposes, Ms. Diallo, I'm not gonna let her ask anything.
Okay.
Well, I guess what it is, Sergeant Chuck and Goss is the person that you interviewed at the Redford Police Department sitting in the courtroom today.
One of them, yes.
Oh, and could you identify him for the
Yes.
record?
That's Sergio Baloo.
And so you talked to him?
Yes.
Okay. Go
And
on.
You laid the foundation very well, Judge.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Not my first rodeo.
And did you, and you also just said that they allowed you to do an inventory search on the car,
There was a search warrant.
a search warrant on the car. Okay, did you find anything in the car that you tagged into evidence?
Yes.
What was that?
Pair of Fila shoes, black shoes with the white sole.
Okay, and you took all the videos down. Do those shoes look like the shoes that were in the video?
Objection, Your Honor. That's
Okay.
improper.
Let me,
Okay, sorry. Because what you're asking him to do is comment on a video.
right,
And that's outside. Fomby said you can't do that. Fomby.
I can ask it in a different way.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
And why did you tag those shoes?
Because they were similar in size, shape, color, and make of the shoes that were in the video.
Okay. And did you find anything visual? Well.
I know.
I don't know.
What did you say?
Okay, we got kicked out of the Zoom. And we might be playing more videos, so this time I am through with my questions for Sergeant Schreckengas. Hold on.
Judge,
Yes,
no questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
you can step down. Any other witnesses?
Yes.
I guess. Well, no, hey, let me see how it goes, let's see how it goes. There you go. Yeah, I looked at
This time we will call.
Can you raise your right hand? Solemnly swear from testimony you'll give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God.
Yes, we are.
Have a seat. Can you state your name and spell it for the record?
Detective Adam Kubrak, ADAM, KUBRAK.
Where the shoes are.
Go ahead, Ms. Gillis.
Okay, Detective Kubrick, were you working as a Redford police officer in April of 2021? Hold on.
I can recall.
Okay, and okay, you're working in did you have an opportunity to be involved in working on bank robbery?
Yes, it did.
What was the date of that bank robbery?
It was April 15th, 2021.
Okay, and after that bank robbery, did you do some investigation?
Yes, it did.
Okay, and what were you investigating, a car?
Judge, I'm objecting to the 415 incident. That once again is the Redford incident, right? And we had plenty of testimony in Redford and motions and everything, right? So I would object, Judge, as to anything dealing with Redford at this particular
Talking
time.
about Redford.
Okay, so Redford had the same robbery, same everything, and he was looking for a certain Lexus car. He found it and arrested him in the car with the shoes.
Oh, no, Mr. Hall. Those are Mr. Hall's shoes, if we must be.
They're on the video
Oh, I
there.
know, okay. But see, here's the problem, Judge, right? And I know she needs a witness that can say that. She can't say that. She needs a witness that is here to testify. And when, yeah, Judge, I'm objecting.
He's not gonna talk about that. I mean, he's gonna talk about his investigation. He's not gonna say that he was involved in that. He's gonna say he was looking for a Lexus.
Because of his investigation.
Yes.
We'll stipulate, he's looking for. I'm sitting down, Judge. There's too many things
So
popping up.
your
around
offer of proof is that you want him to just testify that he was looking for a Lexus, a certain vehicle, and he somehow found Mr. Bellew and he was behind the wheel of that vehicle? Or a passenger in the car? I don't
Well, he
really
was
know.
looking for the vehicle because of an incident in his state, but he also was looking for it because Schreckengas said that he sent out a crime bulletin. And he knew about that crime bulletin.
So not in relation to his,
Right.
not in relationship to his investigation, but as a separate DOL from Belleville.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, show Miss Diallo that crime bulletin. And so you can ask him in relationship to that crime bulletin from Belleville is, did you see a vehicle or was there some, whatever, along those lines?
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm really
Someone-
asking certainly, but I'm just gonna ask, is this a crime bulletin that you received from the Belleville Police Department?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And in that description said a white four-door vehicle, possibly a Lexus, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And did you see a vehicle that matched that description?
Well, I do have to clarify that bulletin that you're pointing out there. I became aware of that on April 20th. That would have been the day after I located that vehicle.
Okay. So on April 19th, did you stop a Lexus
Yes, it did.
on Telegraph Road in Redford?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, but you might want to clear that up.
I know what I'm. Why were you looking for a Lexus if you didn't have a crime bulletin?
I was looking for a 1997 to 2004 white Lexus GS 300.
Objection. Well, once again, we're talking about Redford, not
Yeah,
Cleveland.
All he said is he was looking for he's a detective from Redford, and he was looking for a Lexus.
I'm gonna limit it, allow it. I don't wanna get into it.
I know it's right.
Okay. So did you order officers, patrol officers from Redford to stop this Lexus?
Yes, I did.
Because you saw it,
Yes.
okay, and you wanted to stop, so you didn't even know about the Belleville yet, but you had it stopped, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and patrol officers stopped it, but you approached after, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and do you see someone in court today that was in that Lexus?
Yes, I do.
And
On the date, what date?
what date was that?
April 19th, 2021.
Okay, and what's that person wearing?
A gray shirt, wearing a blue mask. He was in the driver's seat of the Lexus.
Okay, and can the record reflectors identify the defendant?
It's reflected.
Okay. But you stopped, let me ask this, did you stop this Lexus because it was something of interest to you in some of your investigations?
That's correct.
Okay. And did you, after this and everything like that, did you have an opportunity to look into the year, make, and model of the car and look into how many of those are around in that area? I think you guys can look that up on the Secretary.
So Judge, I think we're going a little far afield. I can appreciate Ms.
Unless
Gillis.
there's some scientific, whatever, I don't wanna get into statistical, he's not a statistical analysis person. I don't think.
No, I'm just, it's a rare car, Judge.
It's-
Okay, so had you seen this car before?
The
What
exact,
is it? What's the make and model of the car? What is it?
Lexus. Can you tell us the make and model of the car?
it's a Lexus GS 300.
What year?
I was looking for between 1997 to 2004 model range.
Okay, and had you seen that car before?
Objection relevant.
Sustained.
Thank you.
Is it relevant that whether he's seen it before? He pulled it over on the day and the defendant was driving. I don't know what the relevance is on whether he saw it before.
Because he was looking for it for one of his cases.
But see, here's the
And
thing.
if he saw it before, he's saying that he saw it on the 19th. If he saw it before that day, he would have pulled it over. So it's the connect the dots is that he probably didn't see it before that day.
Well, just because you just stop it that day, you might have seen it on a different day for information about. But you were looking for that car that day, correct?
Correct.
But not because of the Belleville, correct?
That's correct.
How do you make it stop? Right here? I don't want to break anything, can I?
Okay, let me ask you this. So the next day saw a bulletin from Belleville, correct?
Next day.
After stopping this car and
Right.
detaining these individuals, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, and you called Belleville because.
Judge, I like Ms. Gillis a lot, right? But we all have rules that we have to follow. So Judge, I am objecting. You've already told her it's not proper to go into Redford. There was a stop of this vehicle on April the 19th by this particular, well, not him, somebody else.
Well, I'm not. I'm asking, you saw the Bolo come out, did you notify Belleville?
Yes, I did.
And why did you notify Belleville?
I believe
Isn't it self-explanatory? I mean, no offense. He has a bulletin and he notifies them, hey, I think that I've got something that's in your bulletin. Is that correct, officer?
that's correct.
Okay, Ms. Gillis, please move on to something else.
Oh, the distance. Okay, I get what you're saying. So were you there when Detective, I'm gonna say this wrong every time, Schreckengoss, or Sergeant Schreckengoss did the inventory search based on the search warrant?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And did you observe him find something?
Yes, I did.
And what was that?
It was a pair of black and white tennis shoes.
Okay. Do you know why those were significant? If you know.
Judge. So we would just.
If he knows, if he has
Yeah.
personal knowledge,
It's black and white shoes.
which I don't think he recognizes.
At that time, off recollection, they were significant. He believed them to be significant in some way to his case that he was investigating.
Okay. Okay, I have no further questions.
Just briefly.
Yeah.
And good afternoon, officer.
afternoon.
It's Sergeant Kubrick, right?
Not yet.
Well, we're gonna.
We're getting there.
Putting it out in the universe. But in any event, so let's be clear. You did not see Sergio Ballou rob a bank, correct? Yeah.
What was that last part?
You didn't see Sergio Ballou from your own eyes inside of a bank, robbing a bank, did you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you don't know who was driving that white Lexus on April, let's say 13th, right?
No, ma'am. Correct.
14th,
Correct.
15th,
Correct.
16th,
Correct.
17th,
Correct.
18th,
Also correct.
or 19th, right? You saw, he was in the car on the 19th, correct?
That's correct.
You don't, and the car is not registered to him, is it, if you know?
It was not at the time, no.
Okay, right. So you don't
That
know.
implies that it was at some point later.
Not to my knowledge.
No.
it
I'm
was
just curious.
Oh.
Yeah,
You said not at the time.
Yeah, I like him, no judge, so he.
maybe now is kind of the way I was thinking
I
about it. Yeah.
know.
Okay, and so whatever was gotten out of the car, did you preserve it for DNA?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and so with that, we're clear, you're saying there was, I think Ms. Gillis said, like some black tennis shoes with a white sole, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you know, I got on black somethings with a white sole. People might think these are tennis shoes. You know, so there's nothing special about black shoes with white soles in it.
Did you wear those intentionally today, Miss Diallo?
Okay, give me in for this one. So nothing significant, right?
I'm not an expert in something like that.
Okay, all right, but it wasn't anything like a Louis Vuitton shoes, right, that would stick out. Only a few people get those, right?
I don't even know what brand they were.
Okay, I'm gonna sit down now. Once again, it's been a pleasure, and good afternoon to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Do you know who the car was registered to?
Not off memory, I do not.
Okay. Did you ask Mr. Blue?
I did not personally know.
I don't have nothing to do with me. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot this witness now.
You can step down, sir.
I just have, I'm recalling the bank.
Are you gonna allow her to do that, Judge?
She can I don't know what blank teller you're gonna recall that I let go.
Romano.
The bank teller that I let go. Oh,
Oh, my goodness.
Pardon?
I don't care. I said I'd let her go, but go ahead.
Hey. Okay, no, just look at the screen. What is the other field? Look at the screen. Hey. Just look up there.
Come on up, Mr. Romano. You're still under oath. If you want to have a seat again.
Well, after I do this case.
Something's amiss.
Go ahead, Ms. Gillis.
Okay, Ms. Romano, you're still under oath, but I just have a question. You indicated about before how the teller said there was a robbery and whatnot. Is that you were working at the bank at the time? Can you tell me, was there anything taken on that robbery?
There was cash taken.
Cash taken?
Yes.
Is that because part of your policy is to do like?
Judge, objection leading.
Okay, as part of
Well, actually, I have a question. Do you have personal knowledge of that?
That there was cash taken? Yes.
Okay. Okay, I have no other question.
Ms. Diallo.
And your personal knowledge came from not what you saw, but what somebody said, right?
There was an audit done.
I understand what you're saying, but you didn't see anything, right? You didn't see the cash. You heard somebody say that, right?
Oh, wait.
Hold on.
What cash are we talking about? The
Oh,
cash
the
that was
cash
handed
was
to the
taken.
robber or the cash
Whatever.
that's missing?
Okay, Jane, you might know way more about it than me, but we're here about a bank robbery. So let me try to be a little clear. I'm sorry. I thought I was clear. You do not have personal knowledge of, from what you saw, money being given to somebody and them running out with the money in their hand or wherever.
No.
You do not, correct?
No, I did not
Okay.
see that.
Right, and no worries, you're just here to tell the truth, and there was an audit done, and based on the audit, there was some money that came up missing, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay, so, and you were not the bank teller at the time, correct?
Correct.
All right, I have another question, thank you.
Listen,
I'm done.
Gillis, you can, and now you can leave this. Any other witnesses, Ms. Gillis?
I don't think so. No, we have no, thank you very much.
Motion, Ms. Gillis.
We moved to bind over on the charge containing the information complaint.
Before I go ahead.
You know what? I'll just reserve argument.
And before you stand up, Ms. Diallo, let me, because I'm doing this. Right. Thank you. Having technical difficulties. Before I let Ms. Diallo stand up, I want you to explain to me how you overcome the ID issue. We didn't hear from the bank teller that was allegedly robbed. I have nobody pointing to Mr. Bellew except except for Sergeant Schreckengast, who went and interviewed him while he was incarcerated in Redford. But I have a big lead. I know this is probable cause, Miss Gillis, but I have adjourned this case multiple times for these witnesses. Where is Miss Goike? Please enlighten me.
Oh, okay, Ms. Goike lives in Florida.
She's the witness that we had set multiple times for you to get her here.
One time, but I will tell you what happened. We contacted her, OIC contacted her, yes, I'll come up, I got family there, I'm gonna fly, etc. I had the victim advocate, the head of victim advocate, make sure you get this person here, etc., etc. And she had plane tickets, and I mean, we had plane tickets lined up and everything like that, and she just like ghosted us. So we just couldn't even find her all of a sudden. So we had, backup numbers of
Except
parents.
that as we sit here today, Miss Gillis, explain to me out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 witnesses that I've sat and listened to, one person that said that man, Mr. Bellew, is the person that walked in and robbed the bank. One witness, one identification, one skinny something that I can use. Probable cause, this little tiny burden that's not huge, not huge. One person that said, yep, it was him, or one piece of evidence that says, yep, it was this guy.
Well, you follow the whole line of the person in the plaid pajamas and the black and white.
But I didn't, there's no connection. There's no connect, there's a pair of shoes.
It's the same car. He's arrested for an investigation.
Days later, it's not his vehicle.
It's the same vehicle that Redford was looking for.
Did you have a motion?
Judge, at this time, we would object to the bind over.
And ask for a motion to
Dismiss this case, Judge.
dismiss.
I appreciate it. We'll wait for the order, or is it gonna be email? How do you want to do
Is it gonna be email?
Email?
Hang on a second.
Okay, I'll
live
do it.
streaming this. Don't go anywhere. Actually, before I take off the live stream, you will explain this dialogue to your client, that if the
Yes.
state comes forward with Ms. Goike and there is an identification that he is the person that perpetrated this crime, that they will refile these charges. And he understands that.
That is absolutely correct. And Judge, it's twice that we adjourned this for the witness. Twice. No, the first time we were here, remember? 3 times. We were down there. She didn't show up in, right? That became a did not show up against the students. Now, we